groups of people. Remember, we like to say Africa, but this is an area of source of arrivals that extended some over 2,000 miles from the area of Senegal right down into Angola. And you had many different language groups and many different culture groups coming together on a small island like St. Vincent and then having to adapt their lives to the Kalinago life. And very often, you know, this whole thing about mixing was true. But essentially, you had Africans also who were living like Kalinagos. And one part of the Kalinago community were called the Garifuna, will be the women. And that is how we get our Garifuna. And all of this still has to be researched in more detail. And so we get the myths, creation myths, and the spirits of Africa merging with the spirits and the myths and the knowledge of the Kalinago. And the Africans arrive with nothing. They just arrive with their bare hands and often naked. But in their minds was the memory of Africa. And then they would adapt it to the Kalinago presence. The famous painting of Châteaubriand and some of his chiefs. And Jean-Baptiste there at the end, Châteaubriand spoke French and he's trying to relate to those English colonizers, and Jean-Baptiste is there standing at the end. You can see he's translating, he is the negotiator, and Châteaubriand is there listening to him and working out about this treaty. In Dominica also, the Maroons, known as the Negmaon, living in three main areas in the center of the island, and they dominated the 18th and early 19th century. And so when we're studying the African words that are still used in Dominica that filter into the language, we then find Fula, Twi, Yoruba, Igbo, Ibibo, Uwe, Akan, Bantu Kikongo, Nembe, Wolof, and others. And I'm sure that here, a study that will be done in St. Vincent will also find these links. And here, the use of plants in herbal medicine. You have the link from Africa to the Kalinago. Here is a plant, castor oil. Castor oil comes from Africa. But in Dominica, it maintains a Kalinago name, Carapat. So I'm saying to myself, well, how this African plant is called Carapat here in Dominica? I find out that there is a tree, an indigenous tree that provides oil for the Kalinago people to rub themselves every morning with their rugu, their red dye, to protect them from the insects and all. And they call it Carapat. When the Africans bring the castor oil, the oil does the same service, and they don't have to cut down big trees and squeeze all kind of stuff. All they have to use is a castor oil. So they give their Kalinago name to the African plant, Carapat, and Dominicans today use castor oil and call it Carapat. So we have this interesting interlinkage between the Kalinago. Again, there's a popular thing in Dominica called the Titiri Accra. Now you all may have it here, you may pronounce it a little different. Titiri is that little fish that comes up the rivers. Tree. Right. Now that is a Kalinago name, Tree. So you're coming up the rivers, and at certain times, and there's a big river in Dominica, the biggest river in Dominica, which we call Layu, but you all call Leyu, because there are many Kalinago names that you have here in St. Vincent that we have in Dominica, but they are either spelled differently. Like we have a Barui, B-A-R-R-O-U-I, but you all have a Frenchified Baruli that you all have up there. So there are many names that they carried up from St. Vincent and they put into Dominica. So you have what we would say Titiwi, but you all call it Tutri. And what is the Accra? Accra comes from where? It's a Nigerian Twi word for akara. Akara is a bean food made of beans, but it's deep fried, just like an akra. So you're taking a Kalinago word, titri, and you're putting it with an African word, and you're getting something that is used today in modern day Dominica. So all these little linkages. And then the use of things like the mortar and pestle, mashed pillow. And I'm sure there are people that still use it here. Use it in Dominica to make something called tonton, which is a mixture of dasheen and breadfruit and everything, tonton, and then you put a nice gravy on it. And, you know, it's delicious. So these elements are also taken into account. Housing and shelter I've dealt with because you had your Kalinago type housing, and you had the various tribal groups from Africa coming with their memory of how to make houses in West Africa. And then they would adapt the type of vegetation material that you have here to make a house based on an African wattle and daub house. And so in all of the old postcards that you will see of St. Vincent and old photographs of the countryside in St. Vincent, you will come across in the early 20th century these African houses built with materials that come from indigenous St. Vincent with knowledge that has been passed on by the Kalinago people. And particularly in the old plantation pictures where the plantation huts are, you're essentially having West African huts with local materials, maybe imported sugarcane, for instance, non-indigenous sugarcane on the covers, but other elements as well. And then when you get into the smaller houses that are being built later on in the 20th century, the carpenters, the amazing descendants of the Garifuna, the Kalinago, or just African descendants who have gained the knowledge of the different wood types, they will use different types of wood for different parts of their Creole house, whether it is the tough carapet and balata for the frame, and then they will use the white cedar maybe for the boards on the side, and they will use another type for the shingles to protect it from the rain. So all of these bits of knowledge and the types of woods that are put together are important to understand and maintain to make those links with the past. And then we have in Dominica the Papavois, which is the forest spirit. And if you go back into many of the African groups that I mentioned, whether it's the Twi or the Wolof or whatever, particularly those from the rainforest regions of West Africa, the forest is a place that is full of spirits. And so it is carried down in the stories of Dominica. What we call the Mama Glow, the woman who sits at the river, she is the river spirit. And all of these linked together. And then in things like our masquerade and carnival, you have the stick dancers, the Wabwa, Moko Jumbies from West Africa, Moko. The Moko people that appears a lot in our slave lists are from the borders between Cameroon and southern Nigeria. And in the ceremonies that they had, there were these stilt men representing various spirits, whether it was the herons on their tall stilt feet or whatever. And then you have horns and fiber. There you have it in West Africa, there you have it carnival time in Dominica. And these West Africans were banned, just like so many things were banned here in St. Vincent during the even post-slavery period. And then back in 1993, we were allowed to use the fiber and the mask again. The only thing is that when you use this in Dominica, you have got to list your name with the Ministry of Culture. They hand the name and the number to the police. So you have to hang, because I know in that, you would not know it's as I say, Dominica, AK White West in that, because when you see me move, you would not know who is in that costume. And that's the wonder of it. People go to this costume. But there is a red sticker, and the police can see you passing. Oh, that's Lennox. All right, fine. So in case anything happens, you can identify the person who is in that. And we see that even our early colonizers, like General Robert Melville, who was the Governor General for all of these southern Caribbean islands, he directed Anderson and others who were working on the Botanic Gardens here to obtain from the black and yellow Caribs as to the uses of the plants on the island and their planting at the gardens. So find out what they're planting and plant species of them at the Botanic Gardens here in Kingston. And then we have them in 1791 reserving the Kings Hill forest area because they have this belief, which of course the Kalinagos had an awareness that it's the forest that attracts the rain. And you don't go and cut wide areas of forest. You create small gardens dotted around, surrounded by forests, because the nutrients and the rain was coming from the forest. And these English people came and just cut everything to plant sugarcane until they realized that, you know, we've got to keep some of it. Luckily, a lot of the central mountains were so tall that they could not ever be able to go and plant sugar there. But the fact was that they saw in the southern area, if you have this one mountain that you keep forested, at least the moisture will be around it, and so you have the Kings Hill forest. And so, in ending, I just want to pass on to you the importance of this indigenous knowledge. We're carried away with being modern and you know, hyper international and all that kind of stuff. There is nothing in this room that comes from Central States. I think when the drummers were here, maybe their drums, they carved them out. But everything from the lights, of course, none of us are wearing any local cotton or none of the banana leaves or grass skirts or anything. So this is the reality, that we are living in a place where only inhabitants using this crust of clay as a place of occupation. But for the indigenous people, that was their survival. And in a way, as the world gets more and more polluted, and as the world gets more and more desperate for its resources and its rainfall and its water, it's important for us to think again about the way we live on this land, and think again about the Garifuna, the Kalinago, and the respect that they have for the islands on which we live. And so, we are now going, I hope, inspired by the Garifuna Foundation and all they're working for, towards a new rediscovery and a respect for indigenous knowledge and indigenous natural life. Thank you all very much.